Hello, welcome to a BrailleDash video. In this video, I will be going over another training book that I wrote. So here on the screen, we have the Punctuation Marks training book. So this is all in grade 1, meaning it's uncontracted. So it's only Braille letters that form the words in this training book. The cover image is a deer standing next to a tree, just staring at the reader. So what to expect from this book? When you turn the page, the very first page is going to be the title page. So it's just going to give you the title of what the book is, who wrote it, the illustrator, the small section for acknowledgments, and below it's going to have the copyright and ISBN number for this training book. When you turn the page, you are going to be introduced to the table of contents. So the way the table of contents are laid out, you are going to have what punctuation mark you would be learning in the lesson, and you are going to have guide dots that are going to move your finger across to the right to the page number to find the punctuation mark you are looking for. So here we have capital and period. Underneath that, let's go down a couple of lines. We have question marks and exclamation. We have the colon, semicolon, and hyphen, and so on. So you have a list of different punctuation marks you'll be introduced to in this book. So the way this is structured, every lesson is going to start with the introduction. So I went a couple pages in, and here at the very top, it's going to be centered, is the title, which is going to tell you what punctuation mark this lesson introduces. So here at the very top, it reads question mark and exclamation mark. So you know this lesson is going to be introducing those two new punctuation marks. So the way it's structured, we are going to have a full Braille cell followed by the punctuation mark. One thing to note, the full Braille cell is not a part of the punctuation mark. It's just to help keep your finger straight. That way you are able to identify the dots you are feeling in this punctuation mark structure. So here I could feel, let's see, dots 2, 3, and 6. However, if you do not feel those dots and you're having a difficult time placing what dots form this structure, if you keep moving to the right, you are going to have it written out in words. So here it says dots 2, 3, 6. So now you know that structure was made up of these dots. After that, you have the punctuation mark it forms. So here it says question mark. When a new punctuation mark is introduced, below that you are going to have a few lines of examples of how the punctuation mark is used. So here we have the first example. It says, how are you? And all the way at the end, we have dots 2, 3, and 6. Lets you know that is the question mark. So you could feel it at the end of a sentence. And that's the rest of the lines. You have more examples until you go further down and you find that full Braille cell. Again, it's to help keep your fingers straight and helps identify the dots you are feeling to the right of it. So the structure for this next punctuation mark, I feel dots 2, 3, and 5. If you can't feel the dots and you can't figure out where those dots are formatted, you are going to continue reading, and here it's spelled out. It says dots 2, 3, 5. So now I know it's made up of dots 2, 3, and 5. And at the end, we have what the punctuation mark is, and here it tells me exclamation mark. So I know dots 2, 3, and 5 form the exclamation mark. And again, after every new structure is introduced, we have examples. So below that, we have a short sentence, and here it says, she is here. And then I have dots 2, 3, and 5. Now I know that's the exclamation mark. So again, it's just examples of how the punctuation mark is used in sentences or within words, depending the structure you are learning. The next page is going to be the start of the practice. So the practice is going to be a few different sentences. It's basically a conversation between two characters. One thing to note is that this book is double-sided. Some of the lessons that introduce the punctuation marks may have a backside to them because there's extra content. Not all of them have that. It just depends the lesson you're going through. But I highly recommend when you're going through this book, always make sure you check the back side of the page and make sure you're not missing anything. So here you can see there's more writing on the back side of this page. Again, not all the pages have a back side, but always double check and make sure you check the back side just in case there is one. So here at the very top, see it feels blank, but I can feel at the top left corner there is a couple of words up there. So a quick summary of how to read Punctuation Marks training book. So the front, again, we have the book cover. It lets you know punctuation marks, and it is grade 1, so it's uncontracted. It's all the Braille letters. The cover is of a deer standing next to a tree. I am going to turn the page. The next page is going to be the title page. So we have the title, the author, the illustrator, acknowledgements, ISBN, and copyright. Following the next page, we are going to have the table of contents. Table of contents, the way it's structured is that it tells you the punctuation mark you'll be learning. So here it says capital and period. And then we have dots, which is guideline to help you keep moving across and not lose your place, and tells you the page you will find that punctuation mark on. And I'm going to go to a quick example of how this book is structured. So every lesson starts with the introduction of the punctuation marks in that lesson. So at the top center, you are going to find the title, which tells you what punctuation marks you will be learning. The next line, you're going to have a full Braille cell and the punctuation mark that is introduced to the right of it. Again, remember, the full Braille cell is not a part of the punctuation mark. It is there to guide your finger and keep it straight so you are able to identify the dots that are forming this punctuation mark structure. If you cannot make out what structure you are feeling, just keep moving to the right and it will spell it out for you. So here it says dots and what dots are formed in there. So it's the numbers, but again, they're written out, so they're easy to read. And after the numbers are spelled out to you, you will get the punctuation mark it forms. After you are introduced to a structure, you are going to have a few lines of examples of how that punctuation mark is used within sentences or words. If you keep moving down to the page and you find another full Braille cell, that lets you know this is a new punctuation mark that you are going to be introduced to. So here I have a full Braille cell. To the right of it, it's the structure. Remember, the full Braille cell is not a part of the punctuation mark. It is there for guidance purposes. If you cannot feel out what dots are forming the structure, you just keep moving to the right and it'll spell it out for you. It says dots and it spells out the numbers for each dot that is found in that structure. After the numbers, you are told what punctuation mark it is forming. Below that, you have the examples. When you turn the page, you are going to start a reading practice, which heavily uses the punctuation marks you were introduced to. Reminder, this book is double-sided, so make sure you always check the back side of the page just in case there is extra content on the back of it. So if you are someone or know of someone who are trying to learn the Braille punctuation marks, this is a good training book to start with because it will introduce you to the primary used punctuation marks found in text. So if you are interested in buying your own copy, I will leave the links to my Amazon, Etsy, and eBay shops below so you could buy one yourself and start learning. If you have any questions or comments about the training book, please leave it in the comments below and I'll make sure to answer your questions. Other than that, if you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe so you are updated when I release new books, updates to projects, or general updates to BrailleDash. If you or someone you know are interested in learning how to read Braille, write Braille, or learn how to use assistive technology, reach out to BrailleDash. You can head over to the BrailleDash website at BrailleDash.com, email janet@BrailleDash.com, or reach out to this phone number 951-291-1648. BrailleDash offers services such as learning the uncontracted grade 1 Braille alphabet, which is the very basic and first thing you would start with if you are learning Braille for the first time. The next one is learning the contracted grade 2 Braille code. That is the next step after learning the very basics of Braille. And BrailleDash also offers services in learning how to use your Braille display, whether that is standing alone or paired to another device. We also offer assistive technology instruction. So if you're trying to learn how to use Microsoft Office applications, Google Sweep applications, or learning how to navigate your laptop with a screen reader, BrailleDash is the best place to go to. If you would like to learn more, check out the website BrailleDash.com, or feel free to reach out with any questions you may have.